Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's your boy Dave Sharpe. Good morning. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Or as some say out there in the workforce, Friday. 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 Okay. All right. So, what is going on today, my friends? I'll tell you what's going on today is we have an introverted stay-at-home mom who gains 92,000 followers in 3 months. That's what we got. Kayla, welcome to the show.
Hi.
We're actually live now this time.
Okay. Happy Friday.
I came on and I scared the living crap out of her because I was like, "We're live!" And she was like, "Ah!" And then I was like, "No, we're not actually live yet, but now we're live. We got 35 people on so far. Yay!"
Hi.
Uh, Hi, welcome on. So what's up? How did you like? What were you looking for? Tell us a little bit about your story and where do you live and why did you want to come join us in this crazy world of internet marketing and all that good stuff?
Well, I'm in Missouri, and I became a stay-at-home mom at 19, and
Mm.
I knew that I didn't want to send them to public school or to daycare or anything. So I'm like, if we ever need to get that extra income, it's gonna have to come from me. So I don't know, I searched for a long time. The only thing I could ever really find was direct sales, and I knew I wasn't gonna go from house to house because that's kinda what that was back then. And then in, like, 2015, I was invited to a Facebook makeup group party thing, and I found out that she was in direct sales, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is perfect. I can do it online." And so I joined, and I made a few sales, but I'm like, "What am I doing? I don't even wear makeup, so this is silly." And I found a health and wellness company that kinda did the same thing, so I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll just go from this company to this company." And I made a few sales there too, and I actually was doing okay, but then, I don't know, self-sabotage, I guess, and I quit, and I was like, "Oh, well, this company's doing this too." So I just from there, I just kinda went from MLM to MLM, never really doing anything. And so I'm like, "Okay, MLM's not for me, I have to figure out something else." I found Amazon FBA, and I did that. I did pretty good with it, but then I was getting a bunch of customers sending products back, for silly reasons, and they had already opened them, so I couldn't resell them, and then I was getting a bunch of, I think it was IPA claims or something from companies, so I'm like, "This is too much, I'm not gonna do this, I'm barely even breaking even." So I went on YouTube and tried to find something again. I did find affiliate marketing, but it was confusing and I didn't really understand it. The email stuff and funnels, I'm like, this, I don't understand it at all. And I found Etsy print on demand. And again, I did good with it. I got sales, but after you make a sale on Etsy, then I had to pay this company, and then I didn't get paid until Etsy paid me. So I didn't like the transaction to transaction. It was too much. And then I was scrolling on TikTok one day and I found somebody talking about the 15-day challenge. And so I signed up for it and I took the course. And this was in August, I think, of last year. And I
Mm.
took it and I was like, oh, again, the email funnel thing, that's too much. I don't get it. So I was like, let's try MLM again. So I did. I don't know why I did it. And
You're hilarious.
this is silly. Why am I doing this? I don't want to send hundreds of cold messages to people a day. I don't want to do this. And I was talking to my husband in like March, I think, of this year, and I was like, I've got to quit MLM once and for all. This is not for me. I don't know why I'm doing this. And I'm like, you know what? I took that $7 course last year. Let's do it. And I didn't retake it. I was just like, if I think about it too much, if I take the course again, I'm just going to quit on myself again. So that night, I'm like, okay, I made a TikTok and I just did it. And now I'm finally going back through the course again. And that's brought me to here.
Holy crap. That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's incredible. I love it. I love it. So are you it's funny because I'm just reading and working on some of the copy of our, of our sales our video sales letter that sells the challenge and kind of all that stuff. And it's hilarious because I was looking at this part where it's like Shopify, Amazon pitching lotions, potions, and pills to your Facebook friends for your latest MLM or Bitcoin Ponzi scheme, agency, consultant, this, that, Amazon, shut up. Right. I wonder if you remember that part in the sales video. And
I don't.
you don't. I just wonder if you
Uh-uh.
were like, oh man, this guy's got me pegged.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
the same way though, you know what I mean? Like
mhm.
I'm able to write that and talk about that, and I think probably Brit Brittany says I feel like she just read my autobiography. Oh my god, for me too though. Like I am hey, let me tell you something, folks. If you're listening to this show, we will never ask you for money. We will never, like, on this show via direct message, like, for real, stop responding to these people, who are messaging you. Stop giving people money over, random. Stop buying coaching from scammers. Just, we won't message you and ever ask you for money. I don't own any Bitcoin, so I will never ask you to get into cryptocurrency. Just FYI. Um, okay. So, yeah, I'm that sort of biz op junkie, and I can say that because I was an actual junkie at one time. But I was a biz op junkie, man. I was an MLM junkie as well, and I think it's just like I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. It just shows that you're really hungry and like you really like you're made for entrepreneurship, in my opinion. Brittany, if that's your autobiography, then maybe you really want and need to be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? And don't stop and don't quit before the miracle happens. Every single entrepreneur's journey is one of massive rejection, massive failure at first, massive hopelessness, even. That's what life is about. And I don't think we want to talk about that as much, the struggle, but life is oftentimes about that beginning struggle, like when you're learning to walk, like you say you're a mom. Well, remember when your kids were, they struggled with everything. We struggle with everything, but then we get it, and then we live the rest of our lives and don't remember the struggle. So I really can relate to that, and I think a lot of people can, whether it's, the Amazon, the Etsy. The Etsy is another thing, the Etsy print on demand. That's another one that I guess is pretty popular lately, huh? And just the print on demand in general, right? Like the selling the t-shirts. But what did you think when you started going through the training and I was like, "Hey, look, like if you're selling just nothing but low ticket stuff, you're not going to have enough profit there to actually ever build any real kind of riches or wealth. Like you might make some extra money, but you're not going to." Did that click with you? Like what as you were going through the challenge and going through the training about this information and in this business model that we teach here, which is more premium price selling information, courses, coaching, and events, or being an affiliate? What clicked? What light bulbs went off and you were like, wow, this is so much better or smarter or whatever than MLM or than low ticket, uh, product selling?
Well, I did like that I don't have to really spend that much time really even setting it up. I know with even the print on demand, it takes a while to kind of do the designing and all that. And whenever you do sell one, I think I profited like $4 to $5. And so I'd have to sell a lot of those to even equal just the 1,000 sale that I have had here. So I don't know. I just really like that a lot. It's a lot less work and a lot more profit.
It is less work for more profit. That's true. I don't have a problem with that statement. I got to be careful because I can't make it seem as the spokesperson like this is like takes no work. It does take work. It
Yeah.
takes hard work. But when you compare it to, which is
Yeah.
what you just did, you
Mhm.
compare it to the other things out there. Um, both the setup, but also how about the marketing, the chasing friends and family in That
I
is so painful. It was so
yeah.
painful for me to do that, and I just didn't know any other. I got into network marketing, which is MLM or direct sales, as you called it. I realized there was a lot of networking they were telling me to do, but they weren't teaching me anything about marketing. And so
Mhm.
I was, I was going around like it was 1950, handing out business cards and putting signs in my yard. And even in 2000 and 9 or so when I got started, it felt outdated then. It
Mhm.
had to have felt outdated to you now in
Mhm.
recent years, right? Plus, we
Yeah.
just recently had what we had with I don't wanna trigger the algorithm here to block this video, but we all know what's gone on over the last couple of years too, right? You
Yeah.
really couldn't face to face with people. You couldn't knock on doors. So, how do you view these skills in like a business like this where you can run it from the internet? You don't have to interface with people, like just as a mom in terms of safety for your family and in terms of just you know, the difference of getting out there and prospecting and hunting versus being the hunted and people coming and following you on TikTok. How much different or better is one than the other?
I mean, I like it a lot better because I am, like, really introverted. I don't really like talking to people. I don't even like talking on the phone, so it's, like, a miracle that I'm even doing this right now. So, I don't know, I like it better, a lot better because, like I said, I don't like talking to people that much, so it is a lot easier for me. I
I
mean,
love that
I had
honesty.
to really really think about doing this, but I'm like, if I don't do it, if I don't get out of my comfort zone, I'm never gonna be able to better myself and better my business online and stuff like that, so I
Yeah.
figured
Even
finally just do it.
I mean, even if it's just for the education, I just don't like for me when people are like researching and doing their research about spending $7, I wonder if they research that much like before they go get a coffee from a new coffee shop or something.
Yeah.
Usually we just walk in. It's just the information, whether use some of it, use all of it. It just amazes me that we're so hesitant as people to like buy something for $7, especially that
Mhm.
so many people are talking about, and it has to be good. There's all, people are still. Why do you think we're so skeptical? Is it because we've been burned in life? Why are people so skeptical? Is it because they don't trust themselves? Like, is it because we've done so many things in the past? But like, and what have you found that's helping people to be a little bit more comfortable listening to you and following your recommendations and actually buying through your links and stuff? How are you dealing with people's skepticism and, I guess overcoming it or helping them overcome it?
Well, I do just tell them to ever message me on Instagram if they ever have any questions. So I feel like maybe just being personable with them maybe helps. But I do have a lot of hate as well. So I try to ignore it as much as possible. But yeah, I do have people like saying, "Oh, you're a scammer" and stuff like that. But I mean,
Mm,
I know I'm not. So, but I do
mm,
have a lot of accounts already pretending to be me. So
mm.
that's also kind of hard right now too, trying to get those kind of canceled, but TikTok doesn't care about it. So,
No, you're a rock star. I mean, look at that. You've got people who are creating accounts. Sometimes our problems, we get into the business and then we're like, "Oh, I can't believe this," but it's like sounds like a pretty good problem to have. I mean, honestly, I know it's
yeah.
annoying, but it's like,
Mhm.
you're really making moves out there. You're making waves if people are um, you know, trying to be you, and
Mhm.
impose as you because you have influence out there on TikTok and stuff. Um, you had said something a second ago. What was it that I wanted to comment on? Um, maybe well, I talk about somebody had asked the question about how do you go live on TikTok as an introvert? How do you get in front of the camera? How have you overcome? I mean, I don't think being an introvert's bad. I'm an introvert. I just get extroverted when I need to be, but I
Mhm.
actually prefer to be alone and prefer to recharge and rest up on my own.
Yeah.
Um, so, how have you overcome any, if there was any? I don't know, maybe there wasn't, but
Mhm.
any sort of shyness or anxiety or anything that you had coming up in you that maybe was from your feelings of introvertness or whatever, how have you overcome those? How have you overcome that to go live, to shoot videos? What do you tell yourself? Just what does that process look like?
Well, this is the first time I've ever been live, so
Ah,
I've overthought it like the last 2 weeks, like, "Okay, what am I gonna say?" I practice, like, talking, I'm like, "But I don't even know what he's gonna ask me." I am used to just doing TikToks where if I mess up, just delete and restart, so I don't know. I have always really kind of liked making videos, so that kind of came a little bit easy to me, but again,
mm.
it's don't like it, delete it, do it again. So overcoming this, I just kind of, I don't know, just did it.
So you've
Uh,
not even gone live a single time on TikTok, Instagram,
no,
anything. You've
no.
got 92,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What do you think that is due to? What do you think the big did you have videos that went viral? Did
Mhm.
you what is the large follower count from?
Probably just sharing as much value as I can, but I do think a lot of them have came from one video, which is at this point, I think at 4.5 million views.
Hmm,
So I think that is where most of them have came.
nice. But you're consistently putting out something of value every day, multiple times a day, and you're you're not get the sense is that you're not just trying to go viral. Like
Mm-mm.
that's what it sounds like. Could you talk a little bit about your mindset around that, even though you have had a video go viral, and that's how do you deal with the ooh, is that going to happen again? Like, what's your strategy? What's your mindset around the long term, or what are specific things that do you try to create videos to go viral? Like, what's your mindset around creating content?
Well, I am just trying to share value, but I'm also trying to figure out like how I can kind of stand out and be just a little bit different than everybody else out there. So trying to kind of be more myself, just kind of
Yeah,
like odd and weird. And just sharing my story of like retiring my husband because that is something that I want to do. So at the very top of my very first video that I have pinned, it says follow my journey. So I'm just trying to kind of be different and have something for people to kind of follow along with and see if I can do it.
yeah.
Retire my husband. So
Well, I think that is a incredible story, and you know what? It's interesting because you could really just pull that out of thin air. It's just a goal. Now, I'm not saying you're not serious about it, but it's a
mhm,
wonderful thing that you can talk about, and man, if you all don't have something that you can talk about like that of why you're doing it, man, I'd really invite you to consider it because Kayla, that is such a powerful kind of it's sort of like the video of my dad where I bought him the truck. Did you ever see that?
I'm not sure if I did or not.
Man, you must not remember that sales video because it's right in the sales video. It was so long ago. Remember, you got started, then you joined a few MLMs since then, so you
Yeah.
probably um, but that is like people want to follow and support somebody who's on a bigger mission, somebody who's
Mhm,
doing and the mission to retire your husband is such a powerful mission, and it's something that I, as a fellow married person and a fellow human being who has loved ones, I can really connect with that, Kayla. I can really connect with that. And so, man, that is a powerful focal point for your content. I love it. And I would personally say just sure there's probably a lot of things that you can do and you will figure it out as you test things, but I would focus more on just honing that story in and
mhm,
honing that why in, and then practicing how do I communicate that in the most powerful way to people, because
mhm,
that's what really storytelling is all about. It's like, how do I tell this journey that I've been on for the past couple of years of like wanting to retire my husband, wanting to be a successful stay-at-home mom, but I got pulled into all these different directions, joined MLM after MLM, and now I finally discovered something that's moving the needle, and I can feel it. I'm so close to that breakthrough of being able to
Mhm.
actually realistically have a chance to retire my husband. I don't know. I love that message, and I just hope that you'll continue talking about that and make that a focal point of your kind of whole entire business,
Yeah.
because man, it's just something that everybody can connect with, whether they want to retire their husband, their wife, whether they want to, buy something for their mother or father, you know what I mean, or take care of somebody who took care of them. It's such a powerful storyline. Whereas if your goal is to make money for yourself to move into a bigger house or something like that's not really a powerful storyline that people want to get, people will rally around. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, so that's why it's not it's just it's such a that video that I have of giving my dad the truck is probably a piece of content that I've got like the most feedback on. You know what I mean? Because people
Mhm.
identify with that. It's
Mm.
something that's like a real dream for people. Um and people know that's what life is about. Like they're like, fuck, that's what life is about. Like that's some good stuff. Whereas, if you and I were out there on the internet, just like, man, I'm really trying to get this Lamborghini, man. This thing is gonna just crush it. People are like,
Mhm.
whatever. So awesome, awesome. What else are you doing or talking about that's working really well? What other things or what's not working well? I mean, I always love to hear stories of things that you tested that didn't work out so well, but what else can we learn from you?
I don't know, just staying consistent. Don't overthink things. Don't compare yourself to people. That's kind of where I feel like I always messed up before was comparing myself, overthinking everything, not staying
Mm,
consistent. This is the longest I've ever stayed consistent with anything.
wow,
And
good for you.
even
Good for you.
even now, I even kind of took a little bit of time off. My brother came to visit, and so I didn't really do anything at that time. But yeah, I just got back into it and just stay
Do you know
consistent.
your do you know your patterns? Are you aware of when you start to have a feeling or something come up that kind of triggers that sort of that distractedness, or is there a certain story that happens that you begin to kind of tell yourself, or a certain anxiety that happens that you think, oh, I gotta have more money or something, I gotta, is there something that you have identified that happens that gets you started down the path of like distraction onto something else?
Well, I know I have seen like other people, they're like, oh, I made, this many thousand a month, my second month. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't make that much my second month. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should
Right.
move on to something else. But I'm like, nope, I got to just stay consistent. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has different results. And I know that if I actually stay consistent with something, then it'll actually finally work and do what I want it to do.
And
So,
also you don't know if they're telling the truth.
yeah, that too.
That's the other thing. I mean,
Mhm.
you don't know the whole truth. Sometimes they might even show you a screenshot, but you don't know that they really spent a bunch of money in advertising. This is
Yeah.
why we got to be so careful who we listen to. This is a great
Mhm.
example, and this is a great kind of moment to talk about this. And I just want to talk to everybody because I feel like you brought this up. You know this, so thank you for that.
Mhm.
But my friends, we are too gullible. We're too gullible is what it is. We're naive. We're gullible. I am too. As an entrepreneur, I'm a business opportunity seeker. So I see opportunity in everything. If I walk in and somebody's got a little something going on and it's not a business, I'm like, you could turn this into a business. I mean, that's just how we think. Um, and the problem is that we're so motivated and positive and gullible that we get on social media or we get in that email inbox and it's thing after thing, marketing pitches from savvy marketers, and we get sucked right in. Um, we got to stop being so gullible, and I do too. I mean, we got to call a spade a spade. We can't BS ourselves about why we get distracted. It's not because other things are better opportunities or we can't make money with this. It's just because we're just distractible and gullible, and we haven't built the muscle of focus, and we haven't built the muscle of saying no to things, which is your most profitable word you'll ever learn to say, because yes is not it. Yes is not it. Yes is going to get you alone, broke, and then you're going to wonder where everybody went. Where is everybody? You know what I mean? I just had all this money and this amazing life. Um, so, but people will use and abuse us if we do nothing but say yes. Oftentimes even our loved ones, will take advantage of us. So we really have to learn how to say no, and we really have to learn how to see through bullshit, because and that's why it's important to learn marketing, so we can ask people questions. Well, how much money did you spend in advertising? Well, is that your gross number or is that your net number? Is that the total amount of sales that you made, or is that the total amount of money that you collected? There's a lot of different, there's a lot of different ways that people make things seem better than they are. And the truth of the matter is we have to stop trusting other people more than we trust ourselves. What comes up for you as I say some of these things, Kayla?
Yeah, a lot of people just try and make things look a lot better than they are.
Yeah.
Tell you, hey, you can quit your job in 2 months by doing this. And definitely you need to learn to say no, because obviously you see where yes got me. It got me from this to this to this within 7 years. I changed
Yeah.
so much. And
Yeah.
that's what yes got me was thousands wasted in MLM companies and nothing to show for it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And the truth is, and this is like the hard truth to swallow, but this is the truth that we have to come to terms with if we want to be successful at this, is that all those MLMs that you and I were both in, we could have been successful if
mhm,
we had focused and actually found, if we knew how to market better.
mhm.
But the truth is that you and I were both, and I was the same exact way, Kayla. Your story is my story. Um, but seriously, I mean, I was in skincare, I was in numismatic coins, I was in cell phone MLMs. I've sold everything from lotions, potions, pills, and everything in between. The only thing I haven't sold is the fat wraps and the sex toys. You know what I mean? Haven't sold those
I was
yet.
in the rats one.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great. If they work, they're fantastic. I'm just a little skeptical. Um,
Yeah.
so so no, 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 no. It's like we hate to say no, because we don't want to offend people or let others down. But yeah, when you get in and you start a business, no is going to become your most profitable word. And it also comes into effect with family and friends. How is your family? How are you navigating family? How are you navigating your husband or anyone else who knows you and your story with businesses? And how are you approaching talking to them about this, or telling them, or what do you not tell? Like, how do you integrate your family and friends in your business? How do those go together or not go together?
Well, they have known my back and forthness of everything. And this time I told my husband, I'm like, don't tell anybody. Just let me do my thing, see if I can actually do something. And then after I started making sales, he got excited. He's like, can I tell? Can I tell them? So I'm like, yeah, sure, I
Kayla,
will.
you are awesome. You
And
are
then
awesome.
when my mom found about it, I think she was a little bit upset that I didn't tell her. But whenever I did, she's like, "Well, this is gonna save me money this time 'cause I'm not gonna buy the course." So, yeah.
Alberto, no. Okay. Wanted to make sure you got that. So yeah, so yes, yes, don't tell the family. How many times have I heard that on this show? You know what I mean? Like people are like, yeah, I didn't even tell my spouse, because we had done so many different businesses or whatever. It's
Mhm,
funny. But now, and it's amazing, isn't it, Kayla, how quickly family becomes supportive when checks start coming in. You
mhm,
all the words that you said, not a single one was as powerful as that check, that commission, right?
mhm.
Just to
Yeah.
convince people, right? Sometimes you just and I think that's a powerful mindset, is that, hey, I'm not going to get into this business and go trying to convince my spouse and even explain myself to everybody, because wow, isn't that a lot of energy? What I would recommend everyone doing is something that I learned a lot later in my marriage, and I wish I would have learned it a lot sooner, is to really go to my wife with some vulnerability and say, I know I've done a lot of things, but I want to try this. I really need your love and support through this, but I don't want to just I don't want to just support you. I also want you to tell me how I can make you feel loved and supported as I'm starting and launching this business. So now suddenly you're not just and this is the value proposition. As marketers and as wealthy people, we have to understand what gets people to take action. How do we influence people, right? Because when we influence people and we learn these skills, persuasion, we learn how to deliver value, like really stack value so people can't say no, wealth comes. You will become wealthy if you learn these skills. It may not be now, maybe later, but you will become wealthy. And with my wife, what I learned was I can't just ask my wife for something. I have to make what I'm giving her be more value than what I'm asking her for. It's such simple marketing that I overlooked for so many years in my relationship. And what ended up being more valuable was simply me just asking my wife how I can make her feel loved and supported. That was like massively valuable to her, instead of just asking her for something. Support me, sacrifice something that you're doing so I can build my business. I flipped the script. I said, hey, I'm going to be doing some stuff. Certainly, I'd love your support. But what I want to make sure I do is, while I'm doing this, how can I make you feel loved and supported? Just flips the whole script on them. And now all of a sudden, I really started connecting with my wife a lot more that way, in our lives, and marriage and business began to flourish. So, yeah, I mean, for anybody who's listening, who's having a hard time connecting with their spouse over this, um, your spouse is not the enemy. Your spouse is my spouse is the person who's been by my side throughout all this, and they actually deserve for me to go above and beyond to try to make them feel loved and supported as I continue on this mission of entrepreneurship, which isn't always easy. And that's a little bit different than my initial attitude towards my wife, because I was like, you're not supporting me. You're not being. And she was like, yes, I am. It's a simple value proposition. It's like, if I'm asking you for something without giving anything in return, um, it, most people are going to be resistant to that. You know what I mean? Even if it's a loved one. So, um, yeah, cool. So, anything come up for you on that with the family thing, or you agree with that, is there any other tips that have worked really well with your spouse, and besides just going and making money?
I mean, he's always been supportive. He didn't like spending the money that we spent on all the MLMs, but I just
Yeah.
always, I don't know, since I do stay home, I don't really talk to anybody. So I've just always been kind of trying to find some sort of a purpose to something. So I think that's why he's always been okay with it. So,
Yeah. And I understand that. Yeah, as a stay-at-home mom, you want that purpose, right? It's crazy, how how we as society, I guess, just thought that that was enough for all women. Like there was a
Mhm.
time where society really really thought that that was enough. And I can tell you with my wife and person after person that I've talked to, um, I'm obviously not a woman, but I get that. I understand that. Like you want to, I get that. That makes so much sense. And I've seen so many, women and even some stay-at-home dads who have really truly built some significant income and who feel so fulfilled because they are able to contribute and help out in the household. So I know that that is happening in coming for you in a major way, and I'm happy for you and your family for that, Kayla. Like I really am. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Stay legendary, and maybe you come back and keep us posted on a round two and tell us how you're doing here in a couple of months.
Okay.
You willing to do that?
Yeah.
Cool,
Practice
cool.
going live more on TikTok or something.
Yes, yes. Or just come back and do your second live with me. You seem to be doing
Yeah.
okay. You seem to be doing okay without going live, but absolutely. It
Mhm.
seems like a next step.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I like to do in marketing what I like to do. So I just also want to remind people that just because everybody's saying go live, Kayla has built up a decent how have you generated a lot of leads as well? How big is your email list now?
It's between 2,500 to 3,000, something like that.
She's got a 3,000 person email list. She's got a 92,000 tick, and she's never went live once. So I love to prove the status quo people wrong. The people who say that it's got to be done a certain way.
Mhm.
It's one of the reasons why here at Legendary we leave so much room for that personalization. It's not just one way. There's principles that have been true. We teach them in the business blueprints. We teach a lot of them in the challenge. There's principles that have been true since, for the last 10 years, but the platforms are slightly different and your story is different. So own it and communicate it in a different way. But going live is not the only way. It sure, is it a way? Should you try it? Should you? Absolutely. But if you try it several times and you just hate it and you're getting results with something else, then double down on what you're getting results with. Right. And I think that's one of the biggest, like most common sense marketing principles that a lot of us overlook. And I see a lot of successful affiliates do this. I've seen people who have made $1 million in our affiliate program and then stopped what they were doing and then just went off and did something else. And now they're not making any money. I'm serious. Like there are actual people who have, and this happens all the time. So if you're not going to be able to continue what you're doing, there's no sense of doing something for a month or a week. Find something that works that you can continue to do, my friends. And as you said and pointed out, Kayla, the comparisonitis of looking and watching everybody else and believing every word that they say automatically just assume that people are bullshitting. So you don't have to get all up in your head like, oh, they must know something that I don't know. You know what's working for you. Do that and assume that other people are lying about their results so you don't go and get sucked off, sucked into some rabbit hole. Um, that is some real ass advice that I want to give to everybody here today, because it's not always about getting uncomfortable and doing what everybody else is doing. If you have something that's working and it's different, in the long term, it's probably going to be better, right? So we don't always have to do everything. Should you try it? Yes. Yes. But we don't have to do everything. Find something that's working, double down on it like a son of a gun. What's an example of doubling down on it? Well, if you had one account, you went live a couple of times, you hated it, you didn't get results from it. Like, you really tried to get better at it too, but you were like, yo, this is not getting me the results that this other stuff that I'm doing is getting. Double down on it. Create a second account, create a third account, right? And just posting videos. That would be an example of doubling down instead of trying to focus all this time and energy on something that maybe isn't working and that's not within your kind of primary skill set or whatever. Double down. Do more of what's working. Focus on email marketing more. Focus on writing. Focus on the videos and multiplying that across multiple platforms and multiple accounts. Are you repurposing on Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels?
Yes, and Pinterest as well, and
Okay.
YouTube Shorts.
Boom. Good. Did what I just said make sense? What comes up for you as I say that? Does that make sense? Is that clear?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've always done is just compare, this person's
Yeah.
doing this, so that's what I should be doing. What exactly is that person doing so I can do it? So,
Yes. Yes.
but then
And
I do what they're doing and I'm like, that I don't want to do this. I don't enjoy this.
it doesn't work for you. It might not
Mhm.
work for you. What
Yeah.
somebody else doing might also not work for you. So, Kayla, oh God, I'm saying this and I want it to be right into your heart, but also everybody else who has this issue, and we all do in some respect. Do figure out what works for you and understand that what works for you, the exact strategy, whether it's just posting videos, not going live. Maybe going live is the thing that crushes it for you. We'll go live. What do I do every single morning at 10 a.m.? Go live. It works for me. It works for us. It's a content strategy that I enjoy doing. I enjoy it more, as much or more than filming videos like that. But it's specific to our community. I'm doing it for our community. I'm doing it for a specific reason. And I'm not worrying about a million other things, right? Because what I'm doing works. And then I get into a routine, and then it becomes a system. And now we've got hundreds of people who expect it to happen every day, right? You see how powerful. And our sales went from 7 million to 20 million from 2020 to 21. And that was the second year that we started doing the live every single day. So there was also some compounding that needed to happen to really get into momentum with that content strategy. But do what works for you and assume that other people are bullshitting. And I think that if we look at other people, like those results that you're talking about, can you substantiate that claim? And are you giving the full picture, or what are you lying by omission? See, for me, we're a big enough company that I can't lie about anything. I have to be able to substantiate every single claim. If anybody ever came and asked, hey, is the claim that you're making real or deceptive? I'd have to answer to that. And I can. But every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, they don't have to do that, right? They don't have to do that. They're just nobody's, they're small enough to where they're not on anybody's radar. So you have to be skeptical about these people. You even have to be skeptical about other marketers in our community, because we're marketers. We're marketers. We're gonna market and sell shit. And we have to, especially once you've got started here with Legendary and you're going through the training and you're getting things set up, you really have to begin when you start to look at what other people are doing and kind of you start to learn from the community. You really have to take things with a grain of salt, and you have to watch what people are doing, not what they're saying, because for example, if somebody says, well, I'm not really doing this for the money, it's like, I've said something to that effect before, like, I don't really need the money, but I still like making money. You know what I mean? Like, I like making money. So there's no bullshit there. You know what I mean? There's no bullshit, but there's a lot of bullshit and half truths out there. And I've gotten better at that over the years. I was a marketer who embellished at one time as well. as a young person, thought that I didn't have enough success to be able to actually really have a story worth listening to. And I just realized that my small results, even if it was just, hey, I generated 2 leads yesterday, or hey, I got this dog not to bark for 5 seconds, or hey, I got my baby to sleep for an hour last night, whatever niche I'm in, or whatever my result is. I've always been in the marketing niche. So, hey, I generated 2 leads yesterday. That was a result that I shared with people. It wasn't I generated $2,000. Let me show you how to get 5 leads. Let me show you how to get 10 leads. I started to really just both use my strategies and my personality, but also talk about my results and work those into my content instead of embellishing or thinking that I needed to have this massive success story. Kayla, your success or lack of success, whatever you think is not good enough, and everybody else out there listening, it is good enough. It's enough. And your income is simply being capped by your creativity, not by the fact that you don't have the content in you. You have the content in you. You just got to stop bullshitting yourself and others and thinking that it has to be different or better. You just have to learn how to talk about what you're doing and what you have in an authentic way, and people will clamor to you. I mean, even if you don't ever retire your husband, now I know you will, but watching that journey is something that people will clamor to. I remember Sarah Ravel. She was the same way. Young lady. She became an affiliate for Legendary. She was our fastest ever platinum affiliate, but very similar. Had a very filming videos. She films videos right in her home, kind of all that stuff. Quit her grocery store job and wanted to help her boyfriend quit as well. And people love that. People love that at home person next door grinding story. And you don't have to embellish or lie and always assume that other people are embellishing or bullshitting until they absolutely prove you wrong. And even if they show you screenshots and all this stuff, remember there was probably cost, and there was probably advertising, there's probably other things that they're not telling you about. When we think that other people are bullshitting, we can ignore them better, right, Kayla?
Yeah.
So if we just assume that they're bullshitting, we don't have to put so much weight on everything that they're saying. So anyways, all right, I'm done ranting. I'll let you go. I know you have kids and family and your business and everything. Thank you for spending the time with us today. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work and come back and see us. All right.
Okay, I will.
All right. See you, Kayla. All right, my friends, go and follow Kayla at Hustle with Kayla over on TikTok. She's also repurposing on Instagram, Facebook Reels, Pinterest, and YouTube. So you can probably find her on all those platforms, but you can start on TikTok. Hustle with Kayla, my friends. Today is a fantastic day to make it a defining moment in your life. And if you've been sitting on the fence about getting started with a challenge or maybe enrolling in our blueprints, make today, what is it, June 3rd, 2022? It's halfway through the year. It's literally halfway through the year. Make today a defining moment and use this Friday as a launch pad to launch into the weekend, have a strong weekend, and start your week off powerfully next Monday. You can make that decision and you can take that action today. You don't have to put it off until tomorrow. You can do that. You deserve it today. All right. So, my friends, we'll see you on Monday. Get out of here. Be legendary. Thank you, Kayla, again for your wonderful story and your value. And we will see you all. Get out of here. Peace.